All right, let's get into it. We're going to move way beyond the hype and all the theory around artificial intelligence. We are getting practical. This isn't about what AI is, it's about what you can actually do with it. It's time to turn that AI knowledge into a real-world action plan.
So you've probably read the articles, you know the buzzwords, ChatGPT, machine learning, large language models, the whole shebang. But now you're facing that big question that stumps so many people. What do we actually do with it? How do we take all this amazing conceptual knowledge and make it really work for us?
And that right there, that's the crucial gap we're going to close today. On one side, you've got AI literacy. That's the knowing part. And on the other, AI adoption, the doing part. Our goal here is to build a solid bridge between those two, to give you a clear, no-nonsense guide to get from theory to practice.
To do that, we've laid out a pretty clear journey for you. We'll kick things off with the AI adoption gap, then walk you through a 5-stage roadmap. We'll show you how to find your own AI opportunities, understand the 4 levels of transformation AI can bring, cover the human-AI collaboration model, and then wrap up with your first actionable projects. So let's dive right into that AI adoption gap. The reality is, just understanding AI concepts isn't a strategy. So many initiatives fail, not because the technology is bad, but because there's just no clear roadmap for how to implement it. It's kind of like having a detailed map of a city, but absolutely no idea how to start the car. To solve that, you need a framework. And that brings us to the real core of this whole thing, the 5-stage AI roadmap. You should think of this as your GPS, guiding your organization step by step from being a curious beginner to becoming truly AI native.
You can see this roadmap has a really clear progression. It all starts with awareness. Then it moves into experimentation, and from there to workflow integration. After that, it scales up to operational transformation. And finally, the goal is becoming a fully AI-driven organization. So let's break down what each of these stages really means.
Stage 1 is all about building that foundation. This is where you're doing AI literacy training, getting your teams to explore different tools, and just starting to identify some high-level opportunities. It's really about asking, where could AI potentially help us out?
Next up is experimentation. And the most important thing here is to start small. Seriously, don't go betting the farm on some massive, unproven project. Instead, you want to run small, low-risk pilots, like testing out tools for summarizing long documents or generating some first-draft marketing copy. This is where you learn what AI is really good at and what it's not, without a huge investment.
So once your experiments start proving they have real value, you move on to Stage 3, workflow integration. This is the point where AI stops being a fun toy and starts becoming a legitimate tool. You start integrating these technologies into people's daily tasks, you document best practices, and you start developing your first internal policies for how to use AI responsibly.
Now, stage 4, this is where things get really interesting, truly transformative. It's not just about using a tool anymore, it's about redesigning entire processes around what AI can do. Think about automated customer service, or predictive maintenance on machinery, or even AI-driven financial forecasting. You're fundamentally changing how the work gets done.
And finally, we reach Stage 5, the AI-driven organization. At this mature stage, AI isn't just an operational tool anymore, it's actually embedded in your strategic decision-making. You have company-wide governance, you have dedicated AI teams, and a culture of continuous learning. AI is now a core part of your competitive advantage.
Okay, so that roadmap is great, but it brings up a really practical question. Where do you even start applying AI? So let's shift gears and look at a simple framework for finding those high-potential use cases in your own work.
AI isn't magic. It's a tool that happens to excel at very specific things. A good candidate for an AI project almost always has at least one of these 4 characteristics. It involves repetitive decision-making, it deals with huge data sets, it requires recognizing patterns, or it has a need for prediction or classification.
Knowing what to look for is the first step, for sure. But how do you actively hunt for these opportunities in your own day-to-day operations? Well, you can find them with a pretty simple checklist. Just go through your processes and ask 4 key questions about any given task. Does it involve a lot of data? Is this task repeated over and over again? Does it need some kind of prediction or pattern detection? And could automation make it faster or more accurate? If you're answering yes to most of those, you've probably found a fantastic candidate for an AI project.
Now that we know how to find these projects, let's zoom out a bit and understand the long-term impact. See, AI doesn't just improve little tasks.
It can actually transform your entire business across 4 very distinct levels. The progression here is pretty clear. It starts at level 1 with simple automation. Think of an AI summarizing your emails for you. Then it moves up to level 2, personalization, like Netflix's recommendation engine. Level 3 is operational innovation, using AI for things like predictive maintenance. And then there's the final frontier, level 4, business model innovation, where you're creating entirely new products that just couldn't exist without AI.
Of course, all this talk of automation can bring up a very common fear. Is AI going to replace us? The truth is, the most effective approach isn't replacement, it's collaboration. So let's look at a model that combines the best of machine intelligence with good old human judgment.
The division of labor here is actually pretty clear. AI is absolutely brilliant at large-scale data analysis and automation, but humans, we bring irreplaceable strengths to the table, like ethical judgment, strategic thinking, and creativity. The most powerful systems let AI do all the heavy lifting and number crunching, while humans oversee the strategy and make that final critical call.
Of course, with all this incredible potential comes risk. We absolutely cannot ignore the potential pitfalls of AI. So what are they? And more importantly, how do we manage them responsibly?
The solution is robust governance, which really just means having some practical controls in place. A human in the loop is there to prevent automated mistakes. Explainability makes sure we can understand why an AI made a certain decision. Monitoring helps us detect when a model's performance starts to drift. And audit logs let us trace AI decisions all the way back to their source. These controls are absolutely essential for building trust.
Okay, we've covered the strategy, the frameworks, and the risks. Now, let's bring it all home into our final section, a list of concrete projects you can use to begin your AI journey, maybe even today.
Here are some high-value, low-complexity projects that are perfect for getting started. You could build a customer support chatbot, a document summarizer, or maybe a sales forecasting model. You could also automate your meeting summaries, generate marketing content, or create an internal knowledge assistant for your team. Every single one of these delivers immediate value and helps you build momentum for bigger things.
The theory is done. You have the playbook, you have the roadmap, and you have the starting points. The only question left is the most important one. When you look at your own work, your team, and your organization, where will you begin?